Hey guys, okay, so just so you guys know, eating dairy products and meat products do not scream out, "Long live the king." Not showing the world your hands does not scream out, "We care for your king." It doesn't scream that out. And a man that's a king, a man that has a beautiful heart, knows the way he needs to be treated by his women, the way he's supposed to be loved and cared for. To run after a woman that is not going to prepare healthy meals for you. See, a lot of these women in America that are not vegan believe that the foods that are the meat industry is, they know the meat industry is bad, but they don't care, because those are the people that God put to the side and say, these are the people that are going to die. These are the people, literally. These, and God didn't even have to put them to the side. They're just naturally born to die. They're making their own. They have freedom of choice. God gave them freedom of choice. There definitely needs to be more education why meat shouldn't be eaten, but there's not enough people with big hearts that are ready to put that message out and push it out. It starts with you. It starts with you. The more you demand meat, if you are a king, if I believe you are a king, and I believe you just need a woman that's going to guide you. Every man needs a woman, a life partner, and not two life partners. Just one life partner is enough. I'm telling you, one is enough. It'll make you feel so fulfilled, so whole. But we can't deny God, of course. God talk to a man. See, this man was made in the very image of God. God is listening. He's not just watching you guys live. He's listening to find his wife. And if you're the type of woman that's not going to take your man seriously, God is never looking at you, right? God, the first woman God has been looking for was the first woman that ever existed, and that was Eve. That's the woman he wants to hear from. That's the woman he wants. Of course, God would want to hear from all of you ladies. But what God wants to hear is you scream with your actions, not just your words, "Long live the king." And your actions don't scream, "Long live the king," if the king is eating meat, if the king is eating dead animals, if the king is eating dairy. This stuff causes worms in the body. God created animals. He created cows. He created chickens. And Jesus died on the cross. And one of the last things Jesus said was, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice." But every day people are sacrificing animals' lives for them to live. That's not the life that God wants you to live if you want to be a king. God knows the dangers of meat eating. God knows the dangers. But God cannot interfere with your freedom of choice. Or else you would be upset. Or else you would feel like a robot. God can only convince you. But God can't do it all alone. We were made and designed to be God's helpers. That's why he says, "You are my hand." Now, there's only so much Quincy can do, right? And giving birth to children and pampering a man and then feeding him well. She doesn't feed herself well either, right? But with this message being told, so it's not like she's not trying her best, because when you look at Zach and Quincy's content, you see that, because you can't talk from a jealous heart. You have to talk from a heart of love, right? Yes, we feel those dark feelings within us, but we have to see we have to look at the picture. We have to look at the situation from a bright point of view, not a jealous point of view. You get what I mean? Now, because how would you prefer for the woman to care for your man? Would you prefer her to be rude, there's only so much a woman can do. And that's completely understandable, right? And sometimes your partner doesn't want you to uproot the other woman up, because it just looks like you pushed him towards that. And to him, it just looks like you didn't love him to begin with. And he might not be able to understand that when you mature as his partner, You don't want to be angry because you've matured. You're basically telling the universe that you are ready or you're not ready, whatever the issue is. But I'm the kind of woman that I don't like to have negative feelings inside of me, because those negative feelings, it's like they cause a darkness inside of my heart. No, I don't want to see my partner happy with someone else. No, I don't want to hear him making love or kissing on her. I don't even like hearing her voice. Her voice sounds so annoying and disgusting to me. The only thing I want to hear is what she's doing to help him live long, even if this man wasn't mine, right? That's why this message is for everyone. But if a man is not mine, I'm not going to as a queen myself, a leader. I might uplift a few people, but I'm not going to have a man that is not my king in my house getting the special treatment that my king deserves. Because that kind of special treatment is not a sugarcoat. We're not sugarcoating this. All this food here at Veggie Grill V is plant-based. We're not sugarcoating. Veggie Grill screams, long live the king. Long live the king. Plant-based. Because remember, Jehovah was vegan. It wasn't until we were born into this world that we were forced to pay the price of eating meat so we can understand what it feels like to be like Adam's generation. Now, Adam's generation needs to wake up or get lost. You don't need to take, it doesn't, like, I didn't need transition. It depends on your body, of course, how your body reacts to transition. There are times as a woman where you have to wear the pants. You have to wear the pants. You can't always wear the skirt, right? Otherwise, your man will see you as promiscuous, even if there is an understanding in the connection in the relationship, right? So how do you pull your man closer? By changing yourself, being better, and practicing what you preach, so that you don't catch yourself sneaking off, continuing with your bad habits, yet you're telling your man to be better, do better, but you're not doing better. You're sneaking around. You have all these issues. You're doing this, you're doing that. Of course, you would think, oh, stick with the person, even if they're not perfect. But if the person is draining your pockets, the person is not taking the initiative to change, they're not changing in just a matter of time, you just can't force them. And your body will tell you, like, hey, we're not going the right way. This doesn't feel good anymore. I don't feel happy anymore. I've listened to Zach's stories, and I've listened to him say in the beginning it was good, it was okay. It was good, he says, I guess. It was, but now it's just like bored, because what's happening is he's eating food that's taking away his life. And they're putting this seasoning, these lies on these innocent animals and putting them in their king's bodies. These are men that built companies. These are men that built a roof over your head so you can have more babies. These are men. So the female industry is dirty because dirt was done to the female industry. They're blind. They don't understand what they need to do. A lot of women, when you talk to them, especially white women, they have such disgusting attitudes about life. They want to continue to eat meat. They're like, they say they will never stop feeding their husband meat, this and that. That's not a woman you love, a woman that loves you. Because if you study about plants and you know the power of plants and how they can make a difference in your life, you would stop eating meat. If you went to the place where the butchers and saw what they do to these innocent animals, and you had a deep heart for people and for God's creation and for God, you would fall on your knees in prayer. Because you understand the beauty of animals. You understand pain if you don't understand the beauty of animals, right? Pain hurts. And that's what they're doing to these animals. They're hurting them. They're hurting them so you can live. That's not the only way to live. Sorry if I'm talking too loud, but that's not the only way to live. The goal is to change the menu, one restaurant at a time. Simple as that. because this is such a slow process that people are so addicted. They're like, what happened to their favorite burger? What happened to living life, living a long life? It needs to be by law mandatory that this meat consumption is not, that meat is not sold in America. These are bodies. I mean, the woman that gave birth to this beautiful, beautiful man, God bless his mother and his wife. And of course, everybody wants to say it's better than nothing. Where were you before? Well, guess what? I was busy trying to fix the world, figuring out what we're going to do, what we need to eat. When the rich white people were busy living their lives, spending $10,000 on what? Dolce and Gabbana, a purse. That's where I was. I was stranded in a poverty situation. While, this is the one video that he's pampering her. This is the only video. Show me more videos where he's being pampered. You grab one moment where you're pampering the guy. And if you're smart, babe, you would, do the same. Nah, bitch, lay down. Let me do anything else. Lay down, let me pamper you so it doesn't look like I'm not doing anything for you. Right? Where were you? I was busy making sure, because I'm definitely gonna run for president. And this is how you start running. You start documenting your actions, your behavior, everything. Because they won't tell the world what you're doing because they don't want you to win. You have to start speaking up for yourself. Hey guys, this is what a leader does. This is what how a leader acts. This is who you should make your leader. This is who you should make your president. Because this person right here cares about your body. They care about your life. When people don't care about your life, they only care about their profit and money they made off of the food. They don't care about changing the food industry. As a woman, you have to be strong and understand that you're the one pushing these babies out. And you're the one that ends up suffering in the end, especially if you don't end up skinny, if you don't end up still having your shape and size. A lot of women end up fat and they lose their entire body because they've been childbearing. They've been giving birth to so many people. Right? And this is not to talk bad about white women. They're not the only ones, but they've said so many bad things about black women that it's time to finally stop lying and pretending like white women are all perfect when they're obviously not. And they want us to excuse them, but your body has a clock on it. By the universe or by God or whoever, by the universe or whoever, there is a clock. Your clock is ticking. Your biological clock is ticking. Do you think it's smart to eat dead animals when your biological clock is ticking? Because that's all that's going to do. Is going to weigh you out. You're going to hear the pain and the cries and the struggles of the animals that you killed. While you're busy looking for a beautiful woman on the outside, she's looking for an easy man that's going to fall for her pretty face so she can take over his finances. She can get him to she will lie. Women are obviously showing you how much skill they have. What I need you guys to understand is that the fact that our bodies are so intricately made and we have so much, that makes our brain stronger because we have a lot to handle. When you start dealing with a lot of problems at an early age, as a woman, you become ahead because it requires you to think. Being a woman, you have to think. You can't just be a robot. You can't just be a cocksucker. You have to use your brain. If you want to survive, or they'll take advantage of you. And that's the same thing as a man. Because when a woman sees a man that is good, she's going to want that man for herself. But once she hears that that man doesn't want her the way he's acting like he wants her, that's when she's going to be like, if she's an ugly woman on the inside, she's going to be like, why should I care? Why should I care? Why should she care? If your wife only has a twin bed, you better squeeze. I don't care how ugly that is your wife. I don't care how unattractive the life is always testing you. Are you the one for her? The universe doesn't care about your looks, because your looks, it has the power to change your looks. It already gave you the gifts of forever. You just have to use your brain to find those gifts. But you're not going to find those gifts when you're putting death in your stomach. You're going to find those gifts when you put life in your stomach. Because you were designed, the universe is so beautiful that it grows. You are a plant, the most beautiful creation in the world. So your goal is to find the right vegetables and fruits, to study, to stay sober, to not engage in, but that you have a woman like her that'll be like, oh, you know, when you're not around a smart woman, she will sit there and toy with you all day long instead of feeding you proper food. She's toying with you. But the good thing is, I'm glad that she's not hiding him, because we're lucky. There's a lot to think about here, because some women hold men hostage. And as a man, I think getting out on camera, long live King Zach. Why? Because he didn't shy out. Now that's a real man. He's not waiting for the big cameras to show up. He's like, bring your iPhone.